the session. So today's session will be divided into two. So the first session will be a chat, right? I'll be having a chat with one of us, right? So immediately after now, I would introduce her and we would have that chat. Please listen attentively because you might just see yourself somewhere in that chat, okay? So we'll be having a chat. Then after the chat, we move to a practical session where you get to think as usual, where you get to reflect. But this time around, we're not giving you worksheets. You're going to use your pen and your paper, your pen and your journal. So please, if you don't have them handy, please get them handy. Now, we're not just telling you to use your pen because you could not have typed on your device, but there is a principle in handwriting. You know, when you write with your hand, there's just something that causes the connection to your brain to be more seamless. So when you write with your hand, you realize that reflection is easier, it's more deep, and it's faster. Yeah. So yes, so you're going to be expected to write with your hand. So please get a book handy. And please, at any point you have any question in the course of the conversation, feel free to drop it in the chat box. We would have time for questions. We'll take the questions before we even move, maybe before we move into the practical session, we will take the questions. And there is an IWD offer, which is an International Women's Day offer. I personally will be bringing that offer to us at the end of this session. So this is in honor of every woman that has showed up live on this call this morning. And I can tell you that for those that would take the offer or would qualify for the offer, yes, because you need to qualify for the offer. For those that would qualify to take that offer, your generation will thank you for it. Yes, yes, yes. Because everything starts from the place of where you even know that it is. And the offer will take you to a deeper level of knowing that will heal your generation. And I'm not joking. When we get there, I will talk about the offer some more. But just know that at the end of the session, I'll be sharing details for that offer. And fortunately or unfortunately, it's just 5 people. Yes, just 5 people who will be selecting at the end of the day. You know, so yes, please stay tuned, listen attentively, engage so that you never can tell. All righty, so I'm going to straight up invite Maudlin. I'll be having a chat with Maudlin. We're talking about shift. Now, why are we talking about shift? As women, a lot of things happen for us, right? And the things that happen for us shape us in a certain way. Some of us are showing up today differently from how we used to show up a few years ago. Some of the change has been in the positive direction, some have been in the negative direction. But the purpose of this meeting today is so that you see all of the things that has come into you and begin to view them differently. So I'll be having a conversation with Maudlin. Maudlin, please confirm you can hear me and you can come on board. So Maudlin is a business coach, and she's the founder of Wig Making by Lynn. So Wig Making by Lynn is a luxury wig making brand that has its presence in 2 or 3 cities. Yes, if I'm correct, 2 or 3 cities. And she has done so well growing her business, having to staff around 20 to 50 workers, if I'm correct. She will introduce herself. So I'm just saying top of my head what I know about her, right? So, and she has been doing so well. She's a business finance coach, passionate about helping businesses understand their finances in a way that they can actually multiply what they have. And she's a strong believer that your business is a tool for soul winning. And I'm going to be having the conversation of shifts with her this morning. So please come on board. You can turn on your camera so that we get the session started.
Hi, good morning, Ma. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning, Maudlin. Good to have you on board. So to get started, you should tell us about yourself.
Oh, okay. Hi everyone. My name is Maudlin Awoyesuku. I'm the founder of Wig Making by Lean, where we focus on making wigs that make women feel and look very confident, like confidently expensive. So I started Wig Making by Lean years back, and my goal was not even to start a full-on business. It was just because I wanted to do something that would keep me busy and get me out of depression. So from that business, I ended up growing and I learned how to manage business finances because of the mess I got into. That pushed me to help many other business owners learn how to organize and properly manage their finances so that they can go from problems to peace, because that was where I was, and they can go from confusion to clarity. Yeah, that's it basically. But
All right, thank you. Thank you. Great to have you on board. Always a privilege having you on board. So,
likewise, ma, thank you.
all right. So, on this conversation, can you tell us about a time that you had an experience that you felt would wreck you? You know, you had an experience you felt would wreck you, but it didn't.
Okay. This story. So years back, I can't even remember the exact year, but it has been over 5 years at this point. I got into debt. The one that really shaked my world, the one that made me stay up at night, like back to back. And I'll ask myself, Maudlin, how did you get into this mess? I got into debt of almost 100,000 CDs. And at that point, I was just like 21 or like 19. So why am I in that kind of another point in my life, yeah. I've not made more than like 50,000 CDs one time. So it was like, geez. And that when I even made that 50,000 CDs one time, that was like, once in a while kind of opportunity for me then. So I was like, how did I get into this problem? So it felt like such a mountain to me, like a serious mountain that I did not know how I was going to get out of it until one day I told myself that, Maudlin, you have to take responsibility for this one, the way you take responsibility for other things in your life. And the day I made that decision, I changed my mindset about seeing that money as something so big and seeing it as just numbers. And I asked myself, what is the fastest vehicle that can help me to get out of this mess? And I said, okay, if I have something that I'm selling for $200, like, and I sell it repeatedly, wouldn't I be able to make enough money to clear this mess? And I said, yes, I can. That's the fastest way. Because whenever you're in like problem like that, you're trying to make money, you need to ask yourself, what tool are you going to use to make that money or to clear that problem? So it made me to create a new line under my business so that I can clear that problem. One of the funny things that happened is, even though I was in that problem, I was helping other people that were in debt smaller than mine to clear their own. And sometimes I'll give someone a particular amount of money, and I'll see that God will just bring sales that, when they add extra zero to what you gave somebody. Yes. God did that for me on so many different times, like so many different accounts. And it really helped me to clear my debt faster. I don't see that problem as a mess. I see it as something that was very necessary for my growth. And I thank God for that experience. While I was in it, it was horrible. Imagine owing people that much money and you don't even know where you're going to get the money from. It was really bad, but I'm happy I went through it. Imagine it happened much later where they will add extra zero on top because I've not learned the right lessons on time. So yeah, I thank God for it. That's one thing I thought would break me, but ended up building me.
Beautiful. So, what can you say built in you? What can you say that whole experience of debt and being able to pay back that debt built in you?
It built capacity because I was seeing that amount of money as so big before. So it showed me that everything starts with the mind. If you can rewire your mind, anything is possible. Let me give an example. There's this exercise that my trainer was telling me to do at the gym. Initially, it felt like it was so difficult. So I told myself that modeling, you can actually do this thing. Just tell yourself that you will go through the pain. Is it going to be painful? Yes, it will be painful, but just tell yourself you will go through it. And when I told myself that, that exercise became one of the easiest things for me to do. So I saw that whole depth experience as training my financial capacity. And it also made me curious about financial literacy. I started understanding debt, when to get involved, when to not get involved. In fact, personally, I do my best to avoid it now because of I feel like I've been scarred somehow. But yes, there's good debt, there's bad debt. So it made me to see my mistakes. It made me to see that you don't invest in things randomly. You invest in what you understand so that you don't lose your money. Oh, it gave me capacity. It showed me that if I can clear that one, any other mountain that comes in front of me, I'll also clear it. Yes. Through God, of course.
Beautiful. I know when we had this conversation sometime, you mentioned your dad falling sick at some
Yeah.
point. Yeah. So can you tell us about that?
Okay. So my dad was doing so amazing. He got into politics. And you know how politicians would want to like scatter your stream of income. So they even went as far as sending him stroke, like spiritually. It was so bad that the whole thing really affected my family. So even getting into school was a problem. When I finally got into uni, I saw that it was going to be difficult for my parents to pay my school fees. And that was really the first time I had to take responsibility and tell myself that modeling, if you really want to like go through school and go through school smoothly, you have to pay your school fees by yourself. And there was this particular day, the day I made this decision, I had not paid my school fees and I was in school. I was in a private university. So if you've not paid your school fees, they would not even allow you to have like a space in the hostel. I was just squatting on someone's bed. So my school was a private school where they would check everybody one by one every night. So that day I was just inside like one wardrobe where people drop their junk. And I was having a conversation with myself. Like it's so good to reflect though. I was asking myself, modeling, do you want to continue like this? And I had only one answer. No, I don't want to continue like this. I want to be able to make enough money to take care of myself, to pay my fees, and to live comfortably in school. So when I told myself all that, I made that decision that going forward, that is how I'm going to live my life. And that thing really, really shaped me. So I ended up going through uni, working and schooling at the same time. Like I had a full-time job. In fact, at my 400 level, I was managing 3 locations. I didn't even know about structure. I'll be in class. I'll still be the one responding to DMs after school. If I have classes in the morning, I'll go to my office in the evening. If I have classes in the evening, I'll go to my office in the morning. I was balancing all of that at the same time. It was not easy, but it did not give me spare time to engage in a lot of rubbish that would have, affected my life. So I'm really grateful for that. So that was how my dad's sickness and, the whole financial thing that happened in my family, that's how it affected my life. I did not allow it to affect my life negatively. My dad even asked me one day, Madeline, why are you chasing money the way you are chasing money? Like, is it because of how things are going at home? And I told him, no, it's not even because of you. It's because I want to make something for myself. Like, I want to create my own life. I don't want to depend on you or like say, oh, life did not go well at home. I'm going to also continue my life like that outside. I wanted to write my own future. That's how I felt then.
Amazing. So from hearing you speak, I could see the capacity, I could see the sense of responsibility. At that age, if I can imagine, maybe that was 21 or 22, if I'm correct.
I
You
was
know,
not even up to 21, ma.
oh my God. So that was how old?
Like 17, 18.
Then that means you should take teenagers on a section. Yes, if at 17 and 18, you already felt this sense of responsibility. Now, there was something you also mentioned that I would like you to point at. You also mentioned something to me that you felt so much responsible that it made you trust so much in your strength and your abilities. And when you hear things like faith, or when a pastor is praying for breakthrough, you're like, this is not the way to go about it. Work if you want to get money. How was that for you? How was that season of life for you? And what happened? Do you still think that way? Let me even ask.
Okay, I don't think that way anymore. God has definitely refined me through a process that was not easy. So going through all of that, working that hard, trying to balance school and everything, telling myself I would take responsibility for myself, it made me to develop trust in myself. And when you trust in yourself a little too much, you're going to have problems trusting God. That was where I was. So if I see people praying, 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 God bless me, I'm like, who's this one? Like, what's that? I'll be like, what's that? You're not gonna work, you're there doing God bless. You know that you have to work. Yes, so working is important, but there's also you have to find a balance between God and your business, between faith and like trust in yourself. And I did not have any faith at all. I just believed in self. I believed in self so much that when I gave my life to Christ proper, one of the things God did to me was break me. Like he was taking away all these different things in my life that made me to have trust in myself. Can I share one of the stories, Ma, like
Yes,
a
please go
practical
on.
example? Okay. So at this point here, I've let go of what I had, like everything I had. I had to clear my accounts, gave it to the kingdom. Like I felt this deep burden to give, to let go. When an eagle wants to shed its skin, that's how, like its feathers. I felt like I had to shed like myself from a lot of things. So that shedding came with me not being able to cater for responsibilities that I would normally handle. And one of them was my school fees. So this was my final year, by the way. It was getting close to exam period. And I would see people from like the previous sets still in school. And I'll ask them, why are you still in school? They'll say, oh, like they didn't have money to pay their school fees. Oh, so that's why they had to come for extra year. I'll say, God, this cannot be my portion. And at this point, I've still not paid my school fees. So I'm like, God, this cannot be my portion. So one of the days, I had an exam, my final year exam. I had not paid my school fees. I did not have clearance to enter into any of the exam halls. What I just did was, God, I was like, God, please help me. Like, God, please help me. I don't want to not like write my exam today and have extra year. I was just praying that God will help me. So I went to the exam hall. I was on a queue. Few people to my turn, they just said, everybody enter inside the exam hall. I'm like, thank you, Jesus. God, you really helped me. Oh. I went to go and find seats. Next thing they are saying, everybody in my department should leave the exam hall. I'm like, why? Why do I have to go through this again? So that whole thing made me scared because new exam hall means that they are going to check us again. So I went to like a cyber cafe to ask if there's a way they can just, forge my school fees, receipt, and clearance. As I was talking to the lady, she said that there's no way they will find out. I was like, I just sat down, I told myself, modeling. What are you going to do? You can't enter that exam hall without paying your school fees. That was, if I remember correctly, that was the first time I heard the Holy Spirit speaking to me, and I heard a still voice saying, why are you trying to cut corners? Have you not already told me to handle it? And it was still, yet it felt so intense. I can remember the exact words, like this is what I heard. So that after hearing that, I'm like, okay, let me just go to the exam hall. I went to the exam hall. I was sitting down at the back. I was shaking. My hands were shaking. My body was shaking. My palms were sweaty. I was just thinking about how they would send me out and how I was so scared. Whew. The invigilator started sharing the exam papers, like one by one. And before he would give anyone the exam paper, he would ask for the clearance. So when he sees the clearance, he would not hand over the I'm already doing this is what is going to this is what is happening. Next, another lecturer somewhere just said, you at the back, go to the front. I stood up with my legs shaking, my hands shaking, and I went to the front. As I sat down at the front there, guess what? Exam paper was already there. Oh my gosh. I just sat down and I did tell myself that I'm not going to read for my exam because I've not paid my fees and I don't have clearance. I read very well, like I was prepared. I sat down, I started writing. I was writing and I was shaking at the same time. While I was writing the exam, the school accountant came and he started looking through the window. I said, geez, this man is here. I'm at the front seat. So the first person he would chase out of this exam hall is me. I was so scared. This man just looked. Next thing he left. My heart was pounding. I told myself I'm going to write the exam so fast so I can just run away from the exam hall so I don't have to continue going through the pressure I was feeling. So I finished my exam fast. I dropped my paper. As I was going home, I was like, God, please don't allow me to go through this experience again. Like, just give me money to pay my school fees. I don't want to go through this. At this point, I already had a business. So, like, I had businesses and all. So as I was on my way home, a customer just called me and said, Lynn, I just saw your work and I'm going to keep you very, very busy. Nobody is going to even have space to even work with you because I'll keep you so busy. Her first deposit. At this point, my landlord was disturbing me, school fees palaver. Like my life was basically falling apart. So this lady's first deposit was enough for me to clear my school fees at that point, to clear my house rent and all the pending issues. You see, this particular story, till today, I remember it because it's like the foundation of my trust in God, an experience that nobody can take away from me. It showed me that forget all your power and work hard, work hard, work hard, and all of that too. You can actually trust in God. Like God is real. He is so real that when you speak to him, he hears you. This singular experience taught me so much. And whenever I even think about the times I'm grateful to God, even till today, I still think about these moments because this was the day I decided to let go of like self and trust God and give God a chance. And God showed up for me. Like he really showed up for me.
Beautiful. It's just amazing how God wants you to learn to trust him, and he begins by stripping you of the things that you had. And it reminds me of what's the name now? Lazarus. You know,
Hmm.
when Lazarus died, you know, Jesus already had a relationship with the family of Lazarus, right? He had a relationship with Ruth. He had a relationship, is it with Mary and Martha? Sorry, he had a
Hmm.
relationship with Mary and Martha. So they knew him as this beautiful Jesus, wonderful Jesus, Jesus that can heal. So that was why, as soon as their brother felt ill, they reached out to Jesus to say, "Come, our brother is sick," expecting
Hmm.
that he would just show up. And of course, if Jesus shows up, their brother is healed. But then there was more to that plan. While it seemed like their brother was getting sick to the point of death, things were getting worse. Jesus, that they're expecting to come, is not coming. I don't know if you can picture yourself in that scenario. The one place that you were sure to have help is not coming. Things are getting bad. You're seeing your brother dying. Now, you're not just seeing the brother die, he now actually died to a point where he was embalmed and put into a home.
Hmm.
Now, God, in his wisdom, allowed that experience because he wanted them to have another revelation of him. They knew Jesus as the healer, but at that
Hmm.
point, they needed to know him as the resurrection and the life. So you
True.
see, when tough situations come, if we can take focus off the fact that, because for it to be tough to you, that means there's a capacity you've not built yet. That's why it's tough. If I'm to
Hmm.
carry maybe a 50 kg weight on my hand, my hands would definitely tremble because I don't have that capacity. But that's also information to tell me that your hands are not as firm for this. So what do I need to do? Look at the fact that I've gotten a relevant information. Something is now pointing me to an area I need to improve. So I should go back
Hmm.
and improve it other than complaining about the weight being too much. And you shared something I also want you to touch on it. Now, during that season, of course, your dad was sick, right? So things were not flowing, finances were not flowing in the home as it should flow, which made you push yourself out there and you began to make money. Thankfully, you were able to pay your own bills. You were even able to pay the bills of your siblings, train them in school. You were now even the one sending money home to your parents at that young age. So when God now decided to come and say, okay, modeling is okay, I want to show you myself, meaning that those resources stopped coming, how did your parents take it?
Hmm. Okay, at that point, yeah, I'm supposed to have a lot of money based on my parents' standard because they allowed me to go for a particular training. So when they called me to ask for money and I was not able to help out like I would usually help, they were thinking I'm lying and all. So I had to just tell them that I gave a particular amount of money to like the kingdom, like to the church. They said, what? I didn't even tell them the truth, though. The true amount. I lied about the amount. But even with what I told them, they were so angry at me. And this was on my birthday, so they were really shouting at me. And they were saying, how can you do this? That you're selfish. All you care about is yourself and all of. They said a lot. I don't really remember negative words like that, but they said a whole lot. And at that point, I was like, where is this coming from? Like, the last, like me and selfish should not even go together in the same sentence, because I'm someone that is very considerate of people. If I make money now, I'm thinking about how I share it. Like, oh, I'm going to settle this person, settle that person, give my mom, give my dad, give this. That's how I think. So I was wondering, like, where is selfish coming from? How is selfish and modeling entering the same sentence? And they didn't wish me happy birthday that day. They were just going off. So when the call ended, I just knelt and I was crying. I was like, God, it's what I have to go through because I want to serve you. I was just telling God that, do I have to go through this because I want to serve you? I was like, God, this pain is too much. This pain is too much. That kind of thing. And many times, yeah, when I was passing through like intense pain through this whole process, it's like I would feel like a warm embrace that would give me peace. So I just felt like I was being hugged and I just had peace. And that was just a very reflective season for me, but it's then. It's not that way anymore.
How did it affect your relationship with your parents then?
Okay, at that point, I didn't go home for 1 year plus. I was in, they told me that they basically kind of disowned me on the phone. So I felt like I did not even belong there, like I was not wanted. So I didn't go home for 1 year. It was much later when I started growing in love, because I feel like I did not really understand love. So even I did not love God. I will ask God, how can I know I love you? Like, I've not even seen you, that kind of thing. So when I started growing in love, it made me to also have deep love and compassion for other people as well. And then I realized that they are just humans. Like, it's not something that I should see as such a big deal. Like, human beings are going to be human beings, especially when they have not gone through certain things that would give them a certain level of understanding. So I had to make excuses for them and I went home. Yeah.
Thank you for sharing. So if we listened well, we see that this is now another tough time. And who would have thought that that season is supposed to be building love and forgiveness? A season where you feel abandoned, where the very people you call family let you go and say, okay, imagine not going home for 1 full year. In fact, I had a similar experience now thinking about it. And funny enough, it's still around faith, faith matters. So to go for an Easter camp, and we knew very well that that's I am my sister now. We knew very well that my dad would not let us travel to that camp. We attempted asking, but we already saw that, in fact, no-go area, and we desperately wanted to go. So what we did was that we planned ourselves, packed our things, and left. And this was traveling outside the city where we stayed. And we're going to stay 3 to 4, like 5 days. What am I saying? We're going to stay for like 5 days for this camp. So we left. And it was when the camp had finished, we're like, okay, so how are we even going back home? And my mom would call, aunties would call. My dad didn't call, but they would call to tell us how furious my father was and how we shouldn't come back to his house. And my father, really, his anger was rage. Like, when he is angry, you don't want to come close to him. So the fear, the hopelessness, the worry, we actually didn't come back home. I had to find somewhere to stay. My sister, on the other hand, found somewhere else to stay. We just went to just squat with friends for that season. This happened for months. In fact, for my sister, it took her in fact, from that time, she never returned home, actually. She got married from wherever she was. She never returned home. Of course, the relationship was mended. That whole severance of don't come back home. I wore the same clothes. I still remember my jean was Fat Farm jean. I wore that jean like every single day because I wasn't even working. I had no business So this was me just squatting somewhere. And it was an experience where I just had to tell God. I still remember this song by Juanita Bynum, Be Still and Know That I Am God. You know, I will play it and say, God, I don't know how to come out of this. And this was my, I had finished school, but I was waiting for the graduation. So in the midst of all of this, my graduation time came to leave school. That's the convocation from university at that time came. And of course, nobody came from the house. My mom didn't come. It was just my sister that came because we're the partners in crime. So nobody came, and now I'm feeling a bit emotional. Okay,
I'm
so
sorry, guys.
This was a graduation that I graduated as the best in my department. They were going to announce all of that, and my parents were not in the hall. I felt terrible. I can't even believe.
Child.
Yes.
Sorry, ma'am.
I felt terrible. But then that season built so much trust in God, because how I even attended the graduation, how I got a suit, how I made my hair. And as things were going, my pastor at the time reached out and said, okay, move into my house. So that was me having the privilege of living with a priest. Wow. That was another defining season for me. I learned, and like they had 5 children. So that was where I learned how to take care of children. I learned how to nurse babies because the last one was really young. I learned how to bath children, take care of children, manage their excesses, you know, and it was a structured home. So I saw parenting differently from how I was raised. Every evening, there must be a Bible study. It doesn't matter how you feel. Like, you must come out and read the Bible with the children, because she will come out and say, let's say, have you read the Bible with the children? In the morning, like I was busy 24/7. I will be sleeping because I used to sleep with the children. They will wake me up. I want to eat. I'll wake up. So it was stressful, to be honest. Each time I had the getaway time from the house, like maybe I want to go and see my sister, because my sister got a job, rented her own space, was living her life. So some weekends, I would just say I want to go and see my sister just to get a breather. Because imagine 5 children as a young girl, you know. But I learned what it meant to live in a Christian home, because I grew up in a home where my dad wasn't going to church. Right? So I learned what it meant to live in a Christian home. I learned what it meant to raise children. I learned, like, I practically built capacity. It was a duplex we were living in. So even when it has to do with clean house and all of that, and she was a very meticulous person. You know, when people live with me now, I tell them, do this, I say, you did not meet the person that trained me. Like, you make the bed, all the lines and the curves and the designs must align. All the designs on the bed sheets must align. You cut carrots. I still say it to tomorrow. When she cuts carrots, it's as if she measured it with a ruler to cut it. Like, it's that neat. She will tell you eyes will eat before mouth will eat. So whatever you're doing around the kitchen must look presentable.
Wow.
I practically learned home life from A to Z. I built so much capacity that when I now got married, in fact, I still remember my mother-in-law's, because my first child, she came and it was as if she didn't have much to do, because I would bat the baby, I would, you don't take care of the kid before, you know, she would just be, I said, that was when I saw a lot of things pay off. And I entered parenting with a mindset of intentional parenting. So even because now I'm in the parenting space, little did I know that part of my foundation was formed in the season where I felt abandoned by my parents. Because I now saw that parenting should be embraced with intentionality. So from before I started having children, I had that mindset. So a lot of mistakes, errors that I hear parents complain now about, I didn't have the privilege of making them. Because I came in with the mindset of this thing should be done right. This thing, I I didn't know all because, of course, I wasn't the mother of the children. I didn't feel the emotional weight, But of course, I felt the physical weight. I felt a lot of all those things, So it builds me to the extent that when I said this to my children, I saw children that brush your teeth, they will not brush. You'll be chasing around the house to bath. I said my children are very coordinated, though. Because when I saw, taking care of children, I saw some days I would practically wake up and say, God, and call all their names when I'm praying. Let them all behave themselves. Because I was not ready for the madness. But it wasn't madness. I cannot share the story of my life without mentioning my encounter with this woman. I cannot share the story of my life without mentioning the fact that God used her to build me. God used her to build me. She risked leaving me with her children because I find that a risk. I wasn't a mother. What do I know about children? But God, God used her to build me. So yes, seasons in life where we feel abandoned. It's not a time to begin to point fingers and blame the person and say it is because you did this, like you grew up in a home and your father was absent, he wasn't there to take care of you, had to push your way through life, and then you're blaming your parents for not being there. It's no. You want to look and see things from a different perspective. And what will help you see things from the different perspective is to see God in that thing. No, what I like to tell people is, see, things don't happen to you. They did this to me, they did this to you. It will keep you in the victim mindset. Things don't happen to you. Embrace that all things happen for your good. It's a different ball game. Things happen for you. Everything happening around you is playing a role in your life. It's building a capacity in you. It's shaping you uniquely. And I realized that the things that even shape us more towards the area of purpose are the things that were painful. So let me ask you another question. What helped you discover your path to purpose? And maybe you should start by telling us what your purpose is.
Okay. First of all, Ma, thank you for sharing your story. Like, I can see how much your story has shaped you. Like, it has really affected where you are now. I'm sure if you had a different experience, things would have been different. So it's so interesting. Okay. So for purpose, yeah, I think I used to make a lot of mistakes before around purpose. Let me even add that before I met you, I did not think I need to discover my purpose in this life. I was just living my life gingerly. And many people were saying, when I told people that I've discovered my purpose, they were like, what? You didn't know your purpose. Then I realized something. When you are walking in obedience with God, like prompt obedience, where God tells you do something, you do it, like you're following God, you are basically walking in purpose, clearly, because you are following the one that created you. So now I know that my purpose is God's intention for creating me. It is not even what I like doing itself. My purpose is God's intention for creating me. And why did God create me? He created me to worship. So even not just me, everybody, our purpose is the same, just that God has uniquely shaped us to walk in that purpose, you get. So my purpose is to have a relationship with God, to worship God, to also fellowship with other people, like what we are doing right now, when we gather in church, when we speak to other people. That's part of my purpose and your purpose as well. The next one is to be a disciple. First of all, to be a disciple to Christ, and to also raise other disciples for Christ. So I was like, I really like this, because I was intentionally doing this already, and I did not know that I was working in purpose, and to also share God's word to the world. And I think many people now mistake this part where you're using your gifts to minister to other people as their purpose, but your purpose is revolving around the one who created you, which is God. So I know better now, Ma.
Amazing. Yes, I so agree with you that we are all living in purpose. I'm sure somebody might hear that, this is my life. Living in purpose. Yes. What we are trying to help you do, or where you need to get to, is the place of awareness, where you're now aware. Like, oh, Really? No wonder. You will now see how everything is aligning. And like she said, especially if you are someone who has any form of relationship with God, where you yearn, you talk to him, and then you do things. You are living in purpose, I can tell you. You are already living in purpose. You just need to come to that awareness. And that's why we are taking us through all the things that we take us through. Because you see me talking about self-awareness, it's now I have the language to it.
Yeah.
Now I have the language to it. But I've been doing this thing since, as far as I can remember, before, at least the much I can remember, before I started having children, when I just got married.
Wow.
I joined teens ministry. I started with teens ministry. And I used to send them devotionals. I would write devotionals, send it to their emails every week. And I'm talking about 13 years ago, right? When emails were not even a big deal. I would write emails. I would send them via emails, send devotionals. So was sometime last year, I was just unpacking things, old pile of books and all. And then I saw a piece of paper which seemed like I had printed one or two from the devotional. And I looked at it and I saw, "Who are you?" I screamed. I said, "It's not today, it's not today, it's not today, it's not today." And then there was this memoir we wrote, a magazine I wrote like 2 sections in that magazine.
Yeah.
And still in the course of unpacking things, I opened the magazine. I was, like looking at pictures of people I knew. It was a New Eve magazine, meanwhile. So as I finished the memoir. So I was just opening, looking at pictures, and this memoir was published maybe 12 years ago. 12 years ago, yes. 12 or 11 years ago. So I opened the memoir, and then I saw the article I wrote, and it was still talking about who you are, authentic femininity. That I said, let's see, it's not today. It's not today. And then I turned to another page. I wrote a section for teenagers because then I was actively working with teenagers. And then you see all the sexual purity I was writing. I say, it's not today. This might just, it's not today. So if you check it, you would just see. That's why we even want you to get to the point where you see patterns. I'm sure in the studio you will get there, where you now begin to analyze patterns. In patterns of your life, there is information. So you want to, that's why pausing and thinking is very important. Things that happen in your life are not random. Do you know, even bad things? If bad things keep happening to you, don't be quick to say it's the devil, your village people. Don't be quick to say it's the devil. Maybe it is God that has been trying to get your attention to build a certain capacity that he needs you to function with, but you're not turning, you're not coming. He brings that experience again. He allows that experience again. He allows that experience again. So that you build that capacity. Imagine if at the point where she was just rewrite. I like to tell people to rewrite stories. I do that with my children as well. Imagine at the point where her parents, she couldn't go back home. She felt abandoned. Imagine if she had nursed bitterness against her parents that season. She had hated them so badly. She now even started making money. She shunned her parents. In fact, she's like, God, even because I'm serving you. Just imagine what would be the outcome of her life if that was the decision that she took in that experience. So can you see that, especially when we're going through tough and uncomfortable seasons, we want to just pause and check our decisions, because at that time, your decision is critical. The state of your mind is critical. That's why when you are normal, feed yourself with things that you should believe. Take the time to recondition your belief system about life. And that's why we talk about having affirmations as a habit. I'm a woman. I know there are times you don't feel like saying anything. Play it on your phone. Let the phone version that doesn't have emotions be singing and be telling you what's going on. Be reminded of yourself. Do audio, do video, however it is. Put something together that will remind you of you. That will remind you of why you exist. Are there promises that God has spoken over your life? Put it somewhere, because there are times and seasons where you will be tested. Think about David when he when he had to fight the lions and the bear? Do you think he was smiling when the bear was coming? Or the lion was coming at him and he was taking a selfie? Don't you think that fear rose in him? At that point, uncertainties would rise. But for the fact that he said, no, this thing, I have what it takes. God is with me. That was his security. He went head on with the lion. He took it out. Went head on with the bear. He took it out. When there was now a Goliath, he said, who is this for? Uncircumcised Philistine. Who are you? So can you see that the capacity he built with the lion and the bear? He could have said, my father is not proud of me. That's why my brothers are in the battlefield. He's the one that they are the ones that interact with the kings and the who and who in Israel. Me, I'm in the forest or something, taking care of sheep. That's how they hate me in this house. It could have been his posture. So you want to check the posture of your heart, especially in uncomfortable seasons. Because what I've realized, you see that squeezing that happens to the orange is what brings out the juice. That squeezing that happens to the orange is what brings out the juice. So that discomfort, can you not see the people involved in discomfort? Can I even tell you something that will shock you? You see Jesus and Judas. Jesus needed a Judas to fulfill destiny.
True.
Imagine if everybody was too good and there's no Judas. Imagine if everybody was too nice to you. Just imagine your life story. Everybody too good, too good. There might be a level and a realm of your destiny that you would never fulfill if Jesus needed a Judas. Why are you having problem with your Judas if you have one? Why are you finding it difficult to forgive and let go of your Judas if you have one? Meanwhile, Judas is just at the gate to usher you into the realm of glory. And you're having a problem with your Judas. Your Judas can be anybody. It can be, I don't even want to put, but it can be anyone. And guess what? It might not even be a Judas. It might just be someone who is ignorantly, innocently being around you, but it's putting discomfort and pressure on you. Let's say you have younger ones you're taking care of, and it's putting pressure on you. You can choose to complain. You can choose to murmur. Or you can choose to go back and say, Lord, what are you doing? What are you doing? What do you need me for? What do you need me to do? What capacity should I build? You are a woman, you have a problem with your spouse. You should come back home and say, what capacity do I need to build here? Because for this thing to get at me, something is definitely missing. So it would take you from the point of pointing fingers to taking responsibility and always being conscious of the fact that you are not alone. There is a God that sent you here, and he is on a project in your life to reshape, model, and form you into a vessel fit for his use. So, just a few minutes to round up this session. I would like you to, from events of your life, right? From events of your life, can you really outline, because you see this topic of purpose, it's still blurry for a lot of people, right? A lot of people are finding this discovery of purpose blurry. So what can you say can help? If you want to say maybe what helps you or what can help, like what advice, what are the things you would say for someone on a journey of purpose discovery? Because I've noticed anyone who doesn't discover purpose, there's an unsettling you would always have in your spirit. You won't be okay.
Yeah.
Sometimes you think it's more money. Sometimes you think it's more friends. Sometimes you think it's looking good. You now be over-rubbing things. But no, God is calling you. Answer.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, that restlessness you feel is still God that is putting something in you. Say, come on, don't stay too long here moving around. I sent you here for an assignment. You can't be here. Come on, wake up. And then you're busy trying to rub and shine. You say, okay, maybe because you're not showing up well, people are joking with you. Please, it's not those people that are your problem. So yes, what can you say?
Yeah, you're writing though, because you don't want to forget any of these things. So I've mentioned number one, which is God. You cannot discover your purpose outside God, because the creator of something is the one that has the true intention for creating that thing. God created you, so he knows why he created you. Okay. The next thing you want to take note of is there's a seed inside you. God has put a seed inside you. And when it is in its seed form, it is like a raw material. You know, when you just have let's say cocoa, or you have orange, the orange seed alone, until you plant that orange seed in the ground and then it grows, it becomes a tree that bears fruit. If you're just seeing the seed and you don't even know this is an orange seed, you will not know the potential of that seed. That's the same way there's a seed inside of you. Many people don't know that this seed inside of them has this level of potential. And I think that's why sometimes you have dreams and you see your future. It's just God trying to show you a vision so that you see the potential that he has deposited inside of you. Let me use myself for example. So I have this program called the Good Steward, and it is through the Good Steward that I teach people how to organize their finances. So I remember when I was constantly having dreams, I would see myself with big, big coaches, and they will be teaching me in that dream. And when they are teaching me, it's like I'm getting so much out of what they are saying to me in the dream. And then when they would ask me to share what I learned with other people, even in my dream, I'll say, no, I don't want to share. I want to keep the knowledge that I have to myself. So one of the days, yeah, a spirit being like just light came to me and said, why are you trying to keep knowledge to yourself? Are you the giver of knowledge? So I started repenting in that dream. So back to back, I was now seeing myself teaching a class. I saw my outfit, I was wearing red. I saw a table, I had to go and buy a table. Like everything I saw in my dream, I just had to replicate it in like real life. You get, this is why you see your secret place, like your spiritual life is something you really have to develop, because that's where you get direction to move in other areas of your life that you need to develop. So everything I saw in like the realm of the spirit, I would replicate it in real life. For me to shoot the first course for the Good Steward, yeah, it was like all the forces in the world were against me. They were really, really against me. One of the days that I was shooting, because I was staying on the third floor, and the house I was living in, the roof area was just flat like this. So when rain falls, it's heavy. As I was shooting, rain started. First of all, no light, my gen problem, too many problems, and it was getting close to the day of the launch for the class. I just had to command the rain, and I told the rain to stop now. And the rain stopped though. That's the day I realized that you see forces, they will come, but you have to control them. So God has put a seed inside of you, and he wants to see you plant that seed. How do you plant that seed? You plant that seed by being in the right environment. A seed cannot fall on a footpath and grow. A seed cannot fall on thorns and then it will grow and flourish. No, it has to fall in the right place. So you have to place yourself intentionally in the right place. You see, meetings like this is the right place to be if you want to know what God has put inside of you. The next thing, if you put yourself in the right environment, you will get to this next thing to take note of, which is mentorship. In the right environment, you will find mentors that will guide you. I always tell people, I don't know about other people, but me, there is a way to go about being a good mentee. And number one rule for me is you have to honor your mentor. Like, have reverence for the person that you have said mentor me. Number two, don't keep quiet. Somebody cannot mentor you when you are keeping quiet. You have to be vocal if you want your mentor to be able to mentor you. Your mentor has to know what is happening in your life, where you are learning, what is going on, so that you can gain direction. Like Pastor Leslie, from the day I submitted to you, I'm always telling you what's happening in my life when we sit down together. It's like I'm constantly giving you updates, because I want you to give me direction. I want you to tell me, okay, modeling, you can do this better. And I've seen how much that has shaped my life from just mentorship. So you need a mentor. If you have a mentor, it's going to make the whole journey so easy for you. So when I became a mom newly, one of the experiences I had a dream where I was in a car and I was in a very dark road. Like, the road was so dark, and I think that was signifying how I was in a dark place and I was moving through like uncharted territory, place I don't know, that kind of thing. And guess who I saw in that car with me? Mommy Leslie, and she was driving. I was like, Ma, how are you driving through this dark road? She said, Madeline, don't worry, just sit down and relax. I've gone through this road so many times and I will guide you through it. I said, wow, I'm even feeling goosebumps now. So you see, the right mentor would really help you. And then the next thing you want to take note of is to trace your burden. What pains you, what bothers you? When you see people going through this thing, it's like it bothers you so much that you want to step in and take responsibility. You see yourself constantly thinking about this problem. You see yourself thinking about how you can solve this problem. What bothers you? And many times you would be able to trace this thing that bothers you down to like a mess you have gone through. So God has now extracted a message out of that mess you have gone through. So God wants you to put together your experiences in a way that it is now a blueprint that will help other people. So you have to trace your burden. So you see me, I've gone through so much financial drama between making money, managing money, multiplying money. I've gone through so much. And because of the things I've experienced, you see, most of my burdens are related to people that are in disorganized finances. Like it pained it, like when I was in it, I hated it. I felt like I was in a vicious cycle, and I was always asking, like, when will I break out of this drama? So when I teach it, I'm not teaching from a place of I just want to teach. It's from a place of experience, from a place of pain, and from a place of I don't want someone else to go through this thing. If I can afford to help them, you get. So trace your burden. The next one is look out for your strengths. Look out for the area you have grace in. There are certain things that you will just notice you do them effortlessly, you do them well. When you're done, just sit down and begin to ask yourself, what do you do well? What are you good at? What do people compliment you for? What can you do so easily that you even take for granted? Because many times, yeah, we take for granted what we have in our hand. Let me give you a solid example. You see that widow that had the whole encounter with Elisha, that she was like, oh, my sons are about to be sold as slaves. And then Elisha asked her one thing, what do you have in your hand? Look at what she said. She said nothing at all, like nothing really, except a jar of oil. Whenever someone asks you that kind of question, like, what do you have? Like, you're trying to pay for something, I say nothing really. It means that you don't even see what you have as relevant enough. So many times we have something, but we don't see it as relevant enough. Why? Let me tell you why. It's because it is still in its seed form. If you see a seed, you will not see it as a big deal because you have not put it in the right environment. It has not been developed to grow and become something that people will see and be like, wow, that kind of thing. So you have to put yourself through the right training to develop yourself so that your strength would now go from seed form to like finished products that will be able to give value to other people. Okay, so look out for your strengths. Next one is look out for the painful experiences and the good experiences as well that you have gone through. So look out for your experiences because those experiences, there are a lot of gems hidden in there. See, today, I just shared my story. And from the story, there are lots of lessons that, like, there's a lot to pick out of it, you understand? So look out for your experiences. The next thing you want to take note of is, I don't like to say obedience alone, because sometimes you can be like Jonah that will obey much later. But God in his wisdom, he also has plans for your disobedience or for your inability to obey promptly. So I always call it prompt obedience. You want to obey God promptly. When God tells you do something, do it. It might not make sense then, but trust me, later down the line, it will make sense. Let me share a story. So there was this time I was asking God, what can I do in my business that would, make my business better and all of that? One of the things I got was go and get a new space. At that point, I just paid rent for the place I was in. So I had like 7 months of rent remaining. So when I had get a 3 to 5 bedroom, I knew that I felt like I did not have the capacity to pull it off. So I was scared. So I kept on going for like 3 bedroom, 2 bedroom. I was in a 1 bedroom. But that 1 bedroom, it has gotten exhausted. There were people everywhere, no space. Like we were too many, over 13 people in that 1 bedroom then. So I was like, gosh, I can't move to a new place. I was scared. But it felt like I had to go to a new place. I felt the burden. So I started looking for places, even though I still have rent in my former store. This was years back. I didn't even know why God wanted me to move self then. So I started looking for a new place. And many times when I step into a place that God did not want me to step into, because I would always ask God before I go anywhere, like, if it's the place you want me to be, show me. So anywhere I enter, I just did not see vision in that place. Like, I did not see a future there until I stepped into like the current office we are using, 5 bedroom, 5 rooms. Immediately I stepped into the place, I had vision. Like, I saw vision for the place. I had a blueprint for how everywhere should be set up, like what should be here. So instantly I started walking. I said, this place will be this place will be this will be this office. Like, I was able to just know that this is for this in this place. So obey God promptly. Now, that office space I got years back, it's helping me so much. It helped me to put a lot of things in place, like, and keep different departments, keep a certain level of structure in my business as well. Then it did not make sense, but now I understand exactly why God wanted me to get that space. You understand? Let me give another example. I was an usher when I started my work with God. So when God was telling me, be an usher, work for me and I will work for you. These were the words I heard in church that day. Work for me as an usher and I will work for you. I did not understand why God wanted me to be an usher. Do you know, this my last visit to Nigeria? I heard another one. I heard, when I told you to become an usher, it was not just for you to stand in front of the church and welcome people. It was because I wanted you to usher people into God's presence, like beyond even the church, like the church walls, usher people into my presence. And I noticed this thing, that whenever I spend time with somebody, like I live with somebody, their relationship with God will always flourish. Like, it's natural, it flows naturally. If I spend time with someone back to back to back for days, if they're not a Christian, they will give their life to Christ. I don't have to tell them, give your life to Christ. They will on their own just give their life to Christ. And I've experienced this thing countless times. I did not understand that God has made me to be someone that would usher people into his presence. So obey God promptly. It will make sense later on. The next one you want to take note of is align with scripture. Don't just focus on what you want to do. Go and see God's word, because God is constantly speaking in his word. What does God want you to do? If it does not align with God's word, which is a manual for our life, then don't waste your time doing it. Don't bother doing it. And the last one I want you to take note of, because many people stay stuck because they feel like, oh, it's not clear. Let me not move. Let me just stay one place. But no, walk while it is not clear. Even though it's not making sense, just obey, just do what you need to do. Walk while it is not clear. The further you go, the clearer it will get. Let me say, for example, you're on a journey, you want to go from point A to point D. If you don't go from A to B to C, you will not even get close enough to D to see the big picture. The further you go, the clearer it will get. So don't allow yourself to pause and say it's not clear, you're not going to do anything, and then you lock up from there. Please don't do that. So with these few points of mine, I hope I've been able to show you how you can arrive at purpose. Thank you so much, Ma.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate your sharing. So what can you say this has been to you on the chat box? We will come back to take verbal feedback, but we want to run through till the end. Any questions, you can drop it. We are here. You have any question for modeling, any question for me, any question at all, you can drop it. And what can you say this has been to you? What have you learned? What have you heard? I would allow you to drop that while we move to the next session. Stanita, you might want to drop your message on the general group, on everyone's group, because Modeling is not seeing this. It's a private message to me. So she said, God bless you, Modeling. So how has this been?
Amen. Thank you.
How has this been? And yeah, and do you have any questions? So we don't take too long on that, please drop them. Please drop them. We will look at them when we are done, right? When we are done. Thank you. Dorothy says very insightful and confirming to certain events. Yeah. All right. So the next session, I will need to share my screen, even if I said I wasn't going to prepare slides for this. So let me share my screen. Just give me a second.
Thank you, Mark. Can I turn off my video?
Yes, please, you can. You can. Thank you so
All
much.
right. Thank you so much, Mark.
All right. So, let me share. Sorry. Okay, so from what we have talked about, one thing is clear, that your life has been under construction. Your life is still under construction. What does it mean? Picture a construction site. Think about where a building or a road is being constructed. There are different materials that are used in that construction. Some of the materials are beautiful looking. Some of the materials are tough. Some of the materials are sharp. All of those materials come together to ensure that that building stands. You see the saw is there, hammer is there, nail is there, wood is there, what's it called? Sand is there. And then let's say when they are finishing, they now bring these German doors. They begin to bring beautiful seats. Those ones look beautiful. But you see the mud, the mortar, the nail, the saw, all of that, those ones don't look too good. So just know that some materials that were used and are still going to be used are beautiful, were beautiful. Some materials that were used and are still going to be used in your construction might be painful, might be ugly, but all of them make up to who you are and who you are becoming. And to encourage us, your life is not a photo. You know how it is, you take a photo. That photo represents what is and what remains. Your life is not a photo. See your life as a movie. There are different scenes to it. There are different parts to it. You cannot judge yourself by a snapshot of your life. No. There is a before, there is a during, there is a after, there is a tomorrow. So everything is progressive. Think of an interesting movie. What makes that movie interesting? It's all the suspense in the movie, where you don't even know what's going to happen next, and boom, something amazing happened. Then you're in the euphoria of something amazing, something terrible happens again, and you're watching. Is this how it's going to end? That's what makes the movie interesting. So your life is a beautiful story, but doesn't mean that all the events of the life of your life was beautiful or is beautiful. I want you to picture yourself as a jar like this, maybe an empty jar, because we are all products of nature and nurture. Nature being that this is what you came with. You came with a form already, because God says, before I formed you, I knew you. So you actually have a form that God ordained. So you came in that form. Picture yourself as a jar. But then coming in this form, different things came into you. Your upbringing, what your parents did, how your parents raised you, all of that came into you. The environment, the different environments you found yourself in, not just your childhood environment, your environment as a teenage girl, your environment in school, your even environment as a married woman, all those environments, the kind of people in your environment, the things that they do, the things they say, your social environment, your media environment, all those things are not leaving you the same. It's adding to who you are becoming. Who you are now is a product of your upbringing, your environment, and then another one, your emotional experience. Because no emotional experience leaves us the same. If you've gone through any significant emotional experience, let's say you went through teenage pregnancy, you were abandoned at any point, you've gone through a divorce, loss of a spouse, loss of a child, loss of a job, loss of an opportunity, failure, any emotional experience that whenever you remember, you might even be going through one now. Be rest assured that all of that are feeding into who you are, feeding into who you are becoming, and shaping you. So none of those things leave you the same. So I want to take you to take note of these three things, because our practical session will cover these three things. You want to see your upbringing. You want to go back. Let me not start that. So just to buttress this point again, can you see these two jars? Now, a lot of things have come into it. Upbringing, maybe you grew up in a house with so many rules. Don't do this, don't do that. You dare not, is inside. It has shaped something in you. Maybe so you grew up in a place where there's love, or you experienced love at some point as an adult, or you experienced pressure, or you grew up in a place, in an environment of faith, or you even grew up in a house where they professed faith, but then the lifestyle of the same people professing faith, maybe your parents or your aunties and uncles, they were serving in church, but they come back home and what you see is hypocrisy. It won't be the same. It won't be the same. So whatever it is that has happened to you or happened in your life, whatever environment you found yourself, would have put certain things in you. Either it has built encouragement, either it has built love, either it has helped you see opportunities better, because there are people, based on whatever has come into them, maybe their upbringing or emotional experiences, they don't see opportunities. It's only failures they see. It's only impossibilities that they see. It's not your fault, because a lot of these things is not our fault. Your emotional experience, most of them are not your fault, are not your making. It's not your choice. The environment you grew up in, some of them are not your choice. Even if now, of course, we begin to take responsibility, we begin to decide the environment we show up in. Like for you to be here, this is an environment you chose to be here, and it's doing something to you. It's not leaving you the same. But for things like your upbringing, you didn't choose your father, you didn't choose your mother. You didn't choose what they did to you. You didn't choose what they did for you. You failed in school. Failure was taken like a taboo, like you were not, it installed something in you, maybe rejection, maybe a need to always perform, or maybe an unhealthy competition. All those experiences don't leave you the same. Don't leave you the same. The experiences you've had, I was sharing with the leaders some days back, that I recalled an experience where growing up in primary school, there was an attempt to initiate me into occultism. And these people came as friends. They would buy beautiful things. Like, as I'm even talking, I still remember the face store was so beautiful. They'll buy things for me. They came as friends. Thankfully, God in his own wisdom exposed the whole thing. And they actually mentioned what their intentions were. Now, that experience did not leave me the same. I hardly trust people to that level where I open up to people. Like, I don't have a lot of friends till now that I will say, I talk with people, I chat with people that I will say I really open up to. Why? That experience left me afraid of people that are too nice. So when you're too nice, I begin to suspect you. What are you up to? So you see that things that have happened, because we always have coping mechanisms. We always develop coping mechanisms at every time, at every season. If you're in a home, you grew up in a home where you cry and they say, why are you crying? Better clean your tears. Don't cry. If you cry, I'm going to beat you. You now cope that whenever something happens and you feel like crying, you begin to hide the tears. What happens to you? You will grow suppressing your emotions. You will grow finding it difficult to express yourself. You will grow losing confidence. It can happen to a child. It can happen to an adult. If you're in a space where you're currently shut down, before you know, you don't want to talk again. If I talk, they will say, you just keep quiet. You are never a quiet person. So can you see that all of these things contribute to our shape? It contributes to who we are becoming. It contributes to who we have become. And you don't want to overlook them. The past shapes us, but it doesn't define us. So don't now say, my growing up, like I'm talking now, you're remembering your parents. You're remembering what happened. Oh, no wonder I'm like this. Ah, no wonder I cannot love. Ah, no wonder, da. Oh, no wonder, no wonder. You now want to stay there. No, that's not what we're talking about. Your past might have shaped you, but it definitely does not define you. It forms you. But look at the definition. You can choose to see the experience modeling shared, her parents, not talking to her, she not going home for 1 year. You can define it as abandonment, that will shape hatred. They put hatred into her. But you can define it as a season where you saw God, you experienced God. So it's you that gives the definition to it. And the definition you give to it begins to shape how you see it, begins to shape how you respond to it, begins to shape what you see. Because anything that you give attention is what you're going to begin seeing. If you say everybody hates you, every time, everywhere I go to, they're always hating me, all my relationships are always bad relationships, you will continuously repeat bad relationships. But if you take a pause, if truly all your relationships are bad, if truly every job you get, they sack you, ask yourself honest questions. That's why you should reflect. Don't deny it. Ask yourself, what's really going on here? What do I need to do? What do I need to, what's going on? Make the necessary actionable steps, because yes, you must take action. And then reframe the definition to empower you, not to make you feel like a victim. Because you choose what defines you, whether you want to be a victim or you want to be a victor. Painful experiences, you can see it as pain or hurt, but it builds resilience. It builds compassion, because if you've gone through certain pain, you don't want another person to go through that pain. It builds wisdom. You now have learned how to navigate. You see her experience with her whole finances. What did she learn? Wisdom. That she's now teaching people, and she didn't tell you that she's making money teaching people how to manage their finances. The same pain is now what is producing cash fruits, not just satisfaction. It builds your sensitivity to others. I was talking to someone who was complaining about her boss here and there. I said, can you just see that God is giving you an experience, what you should never give any other person, so that you know how it feels? So when you see people, there's a way not to treat them, because some people in your life are teaching you how not to treat people. Without them, you wouldn't know. So many of us carry gifts today that were forged in difficult seasons. And guess what? There are also gifts that were forged in beautiful seasons as well, not just difficult seasons. There are things that, because you were in an enabling environment that allowed it, you've grown so developed in that area. There are people that love genuinely, easily, because they grew up in a place where love was predominant. They grew up in a place where acceptance was not based, was not conditional. So they know how to love. There are people that grew up in a place where hard work was rewarded, hard work was treasured. They didn't feel like slaves. They grew up in an accountable environment, so accountability is not a big deal to them. They're accountable human beings. So yes, good things in your upbringing also shaped you. Like me, I grew up in a house where reading, you don't have a choice, you have to read. I was born seeing a library in my house. My dad always had a library. So I'm telling people to read. Reading is part of me. Like, I'm not okay if I'm not reading something. If I'm not learning something, I'm actually not okay. I feel it. Because this is part of what part of the material that formed the me that I am today. So habits, all of that builds you. And like I said, what has happened to you, your shape is not your destiny, because you can, through intentional growth habits, do some reshaping, do some remodeling. When you now beam the searchlight, like we walk through the acknowledging your weaknesses and all that, the areas of improvement, you're now able to beam the searchlights and say, okay, this is where I need to improve. So your exercise, draw a jar like this. I can't see you, but you can see yourself. So look at yourself and tell yourself to do this exercise. So draw a jar, but you want to make it wide enough so that you can write in the jar, because you're going to be writing some things in the jar. Okay? You're going to be writing some things in the jar. So draw the jar, divide it into 3 segments. So you want to have, you want to have a top, a middle, and a bottom. Give equal space. Make your jar wide so that you can write. And then beside it, just draw what I have on my screen. At the base, you have the upbringing. At the middle, you have experience. At the top, you have, sorry, that should have been environment, not experience. The middle, you have environment. Then the top, you have emotional experiences. So what you want to do now is to begin to drop into that jar. What is it that happened in your upbringing? Think about what happened and try to give a word to it or a phrase to it, what it formed in you. What did that material build in you? Go through your upbringing. I'll give you some time to do that. What were for upbringing, what were the unspoken rules in your home? Because there are some rules that they are not saying thou shalt not, but based on the events of your home. Maybe in your home, play was seen as irresponsibility. Anytime they see you play, they give you work. That rule has formed something in you. That you might be a mother now, when you hear your children screaming, excitedly playing, it begins to itch you. It begins to irritate you. Why are they shouting? It's not your children shouting that's your problem. It's that you were something was inside of you. Something had been put inside of you that has told you play is irresponsibility. So anywhere you hear play, you react. It could be that every rich person is evil. All these rich people, there's a way rich people behave. Subconsciously, you remove yourself from riches. The rich people, they don't like to help people, though. Who are you? So all those are like your environment, the things that are said and done in your environment. How do they affect you? How did they affect you? I will stop talking soon so that you can think. I'll give you some time. Thank God we still have some time. This is the last exercise for today. So you can think. Emotional experiences, what are the things that when you remember, it could be an emotional experience in childhood, teenage, adults, or even now, when you remember, it hurts you. When you remember, it pulls an emotion away from you. And guess what? It can also be a great emotional experience, an exciting moment. What did it build in you? It can also be whatever happen in your environment. Did you grow up in a place, or were you in a place where there's always scarcity, you're always managing things? It doesn't leave you the same. It doesn't leave you the same. You will not be able to take care of yourself. You won't be able to relax. You'll be guilty each time you take care of yourself. You'll be guilty each time you even spend your hard-earned money. So a lot of the things that we are expressing now, wrongly, we are expressing them, sadly, we are expressing them to the wrong people. We are not expressing them to the people who put it in also. We are not expressing them to the environment who put it in, because while they were putting it, we're resisting, we're developing coping mechanism. Now we have developed it. It's innocent people that are reaping the fruits of whatever has happened to us. I will pause here and give you some time to do this work. I see a question in the chat. Okay, thank you, Madeline. I think Madeline has explained. Yes. Emotional experience, a collection of feelings you've gone through in life, and how those experiences shape the way you see people, problems, opportunities. Beautiful. So experiencing financial struggle may make someone deeply sensitive to helping others manage money well. Yeah, so it could be a good block or a painful block that has formed you, right? Environment. Your environment is the physical and social setting you grew up in. Yes. The people around you, what were the prevalent conversations, what were the lifestyle they were living, what did it cause you to begin to think? Like, growing up for me, there's something I used to tell myself, and I got it from my environment, definitely. I used to tell myself that all men are cheats. So what did it put in me? Distrust for men. That my own problem, imagine the foolishness. That me, I don't mind a man cheating. No. I don't even mind my husband cheating on me. Whatever you're doing, I don't want to know. Just do it so well that I don't know. And I was saying this as a teenager. That's because of the environment I found myself in. It doesn't leave you the same. It leaves you with a belief system. It leaves you with a character. It leaves you with a coping mechanism to certain things. So you want to be able to think. For some of you, if this is important to you, you want to take it beyond this call and go and sit with it again and think. See why we did this meeting in the morning before you get busy. Your upbringing, the way you were raised, what are the values? What are the things they taught you? What are the things they did not teach you? It will create a vacuum. What is that vacuum? The mindset, the character, because I love this experience. All of that is what you want to put. So you're writing inside the jar that you drew. So you draw a jar like it's there, put lines and write them inside the jar. That is what has made you. When you look at the jar like this and you see all those things, know that I carry all of this beauty and baggage. But then it doesn't define you. So let me proceed. But like I said, after this call, go back. Wherever you drew it, go and continue the exercise. So please, let's go on. Let's go on so that we keep to our time. I thought to put this here to encourage each and every one of us. Every woman here has a story. You see that story that you're not proud of. You see that story that you're very proud of. You see that story that is just there, nothing much. It's still a story. It's still a story. Some chapters were joyful. Some chapters were painful. Some chapters, do you understand what I mean by story? So that you don't think, when you hear story like the storybook. Let me call it storybook. You know how storybook used to have chapters? That's you, that's me. There are different chapters in your story. Some of the chapters are exciting. Some of the chapters of your story are painful. Some of the chapters of your story is just there. Guess what? Some of them are boring. They are boring chapters in some stories. And it's okay. But together, by the time everything comes together, it has been shaping this woman that you're becoming. Like you're being with us. It's another chapter that is being written. The most beautiful part is that your story is still being written. Where you are, this chapter you are, why it may seem like, here you go again, or why it may seem like you're just comfortable, you're okay. Can I tell you, your story is still being written. So you might be experiencing some level of comfort and stability now, but there is more. There's more. There's more to your life. And the beautiful part is that God is able to use every material in your story to shape something meaningful. God is able to use every material. When I say every, I mean every. Don't try to edit your story. Don't try to remove some parts. No, that you can't even do that. If you were posting a video, you could have. But this one, heaven is recording, so you can't remove any parts. Every part of your story is shaping something meaningful. The part that you're proud of, the part you're not proud of, is shaping something. And because it is a story, normally in a story, you have different characters. When I mean different characters, like different players in the story. So everyone that you have met on your path, that should be PATH, everyone that you have met on your path is playing their role. Think about it like a story, a movie. They're playing their role. See what Jesus told you. That say what you have to do quickly, because he knew the script. Yes, he knew the script. He knew that somebody had to take that role. You know, the way a cast is done, like a set is done, everybody has a script that they are running on. So there are people in your life that maybe their presence in your life cost you shame, cost you pain. Forgive them. It's not them. They are playing their role. Without them in your life, maybe you won't be here. Because for some of us, what brought you here is that you were feeling stuck. And something caused that stuckness. That's why you're here. Everybody, every player, every environment you found yourself in is playing a role. So what you want to do is to learn. You know, it becomes sad when you don't learn. It becomes sad when you don't learn the necessary lessons of everybody's role in your life, every environment in your life, every encounter with people. It's important that you learn. It's important that you appreciate. You want to see things from the perspective of appreciation, and that's why we talk about gratitude. There are two ways to view every event. You either view it from the perspective of gain or from the perspective of gap. Gap meaning what you lost, what you don't have, what should have been, that is not there. You can view it from that perspective because every situation has those two sides to it. It's like a coin. There are things that were lacking. There are things that could have been that did not be. You can choose to stand there and view things. Or you can choose to view things from the perspective of gain. And can I tell you, I don't know if I can say this in the way we can understand, about perspective. Perspective is how much you see. Because if all you see is that pain, you didn't see much. So you're bound to feel hurt. You're bound to hold on to hurt. But if you can see a broader version after the pain, let's say you see other parts of the story, you know how you're watching a movie that you have watched before, you know what would happen after. So even when there's some suspense, you're just chilling because you know. Unlike when you've not watched it before. You see that because you have a broader perspective, you have the after perspective, you have the before perspective, the during perspective now makes sense. If you can broaden your perception to say that this is not a picture of my life, this is a story being written, there is more to me, then you will approach it with gratitude. You will approach it with a plan to grow through it, not just go through it. What I'm going through. Can you just reframe that to say what I am growing through and make sure you are growing? It's intentional. It's a choice. It is our decisions that determine what comes out of our story. So your jar can be a vessel of honor, no matter what is inside. No matter what is inside. Good, bad, ugly, beautiful, nonsense. It can still be a vessel of honor fit for the master's use, no matter what is in your jar. So it's not about what is in your jar or who puts it there. It can be, you can present it to him. Present it to God. You see all what we've shared about purpose. Start from anywhere, please, and get to work. And let him use you, whether whatever they put into you was too much that it broke your vessel. It's okay. That broken vessel can still be a vessel of honor. It can still be a vessel of honor. How was it for you? Before I present meanwhile, if you just joined, when we started, we promised an International Women's Day offer for a few persons, right? So I'm going to share the offer after now, but I want to hear you. We've been talking since. I'm unmuting myself and I'm allowing everybody to unmute. If you want to say something, just raise your hand and I'll unmute you. I'll stop sharing so I can see properly. How was this for you? From the conversation to the exercise that we did, how was this for you? And you want to speak. We are not too much, so we can actually go around everybody. I don't mind. If that's what will make us stay extra 30 minutes, I don't mind, because I want to be sure that we did not waste our time in this place. I want to be sure that we made you use your time wisely. You could have been sleeping. So please, who is ready? Who is ready? How was this for you? I would like to hear. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So someone's hand is up. All right, let's see that. Grateful, forever, peaceful. Could you tell us your name? Which one of it is your name, and then where you're joining from and what it is? Yeah, thank you.
Okay, thank you for the opportunity. Please, good morning.
Good morning.
Okay, please, none of it is my name. It is just my Zoom name.
All right. Okay.
Yes, please. I joined 6:16 when Sister Madeline was speaking. So I joined late though, but I mean I've learned a lot. It's been therapeutical, and there are still lots of questions I have to be able to answer to do the exercise. So I've written my questions down, and if I able to come to church, I'll ask you about it. But I've learned quite a lot. One thing that stood out for me is you said we shouldn't just go through the situation or go through life events, but we should grow through that situation. See it as so I saw it as a wanted substance added to a soil becomes manure for the soil. So I saw that I should let situations around me which are not pleasing to me to rather become an adapt for me to make my life more beautiful. And I think another statement I wrote um, from your session is that your life is, you should see yourself as a movie because there are different scenes in it, but um all come together to make life beautiful and put it that way, to make the movie complete. And then you said that we are products of both nature and nurture, which is quite good to think about throughout. And yes, we always build coping mechanisms. So I had a question from the coping mechanisms that if you build the coping mechanisms as a Christian, how do you adjust to it? Because if you have your mind made up and you have coped that okay, you will not be speaking, how then do you readjust yourself based on it, because you are stuck with the mindset of the coping mentality? And you said that we determine our definition, so I took that from your session. And from Lady Madeline's session, she says that we should align ourselves with God's word, and we should walk through the process of events even if it doesn't make sense. But she gave me an encouragement that is, the further you go, the clearer it becomes. So I've picked a lot from this session. Thank you so much. It's my
Thank you
first
so
time.
much for sharing. Thank you so much for sharing. So I'm going to respond to your question. You said, like, we have built coping mechanisms because of certain things that we have experienced, and what do we do about it? Because maybe you're stuck with it. Now, not all coping mechanisms are bad, because that's why we are humans. Human beings adapt, right? So these are adaptations. So you want to ask yourself, and that's why it's important to begin to see purpose, see why you're here. This coping mechanism that you have built, does it serve where you're going? If yes, then you've coped well. But if you've seen that this coping mechanism you have built because of something good that happened or something bad, you know, something good can make you have a coping mechanism. You grew up in a home that everything was everywhere. You cough, they provide everything. Everything was everywhere. Your coping mechanism is that might be that no work, life is soft and easy. So anywhere you see work, you see pressure, you say no. Entitlement mentality might be your case. So it's not just based on bad experiences. You can cope even with the good, right? But you want to ask yourself, is this going to serve who you are becoming? Is it the capacity you need in your jar for where you are going to? If no, the first thing to do is that you're aware that this thing was a coping mechanism that will not help me. That awareness is key. That's number one. Please take down number two. Number two thing you want to do is to check what activates that mechanism, because it doesn't run auto. There are things that happen. There are situations that you find yourself that activates that mechanism. Like the example I gave, somebody who grew up in a home where there were unspoken rules. I'm sorry, this is 2 minutes past 7. I didn't want us to overshoot that time. You grew up in a home where there were unspoken rules, like play was irresponsibility. So anytime they catch you playing, they are giving you work to do, or they are sending you to go and sleep, or they are sending you. So when you now become a parent, your children scream and playing around the house begins to irritate you. It begins to turn your head upside down. Like, these children will not allow you rest. They are just playing. If they don't play, what are they doing in their life as children? So you now know that what activates that, maybe the coping mechanism was work. Whenever there is free time, work in that time, no rest, no play. So your trigger or your activation becomes noise from your children. Sounds that sound like they're not doing anything. Then it triggers that thing that makes you react to play, that makes you recount play as irresponsibility. So number two is to identify what triggers it. Then this you do on pen, with your pen and paper as you're writing. Identify that thing, and don't start with a lot. Pick one at a time. Pick one in a month. Pick one till you move. Once you've identified it, you now identify, okay, if this coping mechanism would not serve where I'm going, what is the exact opposite or something else I should rather do whenever this trigger happens? Tell yourself like 3 things that you will do intentionally. What that awareness does for you is that you catch yourself. You're no longer acting on impulse or by default. You catch yourself whenever that mechanism wants to play scripts, because it's a script, wants to play auto. You quickly just take a pause, and you're easily going to remember, because you have written it down. See why I said this, your pen is better than your memory. Write it down. You can easily now remember, no, I told myself that at any time I am tempted to respond or react like this, I would rather do these 2, 3 things. And do it. You might not do it well the first time, but trust me, anytime you do it, there will be this. Now, you're not even doing it because you're expecting a different response from whoever is involved. No, you're doing it because you're gaining mastery of yourself, and you should clap for yourself for that mastery. It's not about anybody. Everybody is playing their role. You've gotten to a point where you want to readjust your mechanism. So it's not about, oh, you don't talk. Maybe because people have shouted at you too much, you don't talk. So there's that fear of being shouted at. So whenever there is any conflict or anything, you rather withdraw. Can you learn to now rather speak up even when there's conflict? Anytime you do it, even if the conflict escalates, you will first go and throw your leg up in the sky because you're progressing. you're rewriting the script that has always been running in your head. So, and if you do it over and over again, it's like muscles. The more you exercise a muscle, the firmer it becomes, the stronger it becomes. Before you know, you realize that you've developed past that point. I hope I answered your question, so I can take Stanita. So Stanita, please go ahead. Please, you can, okay, sorry. You can unmute and speak. Are you there, or is it a mistake? Can't see. Okay. Any other person before we move on to our author?
Good morning.
Oh, good morning. Good morning.
Yes, please. Thank you. Thank you so much for the opportunity. I'm grateful to be here. And I mean, I've learned a lot of things from you and then Miss Maudlin. When she was talking about her experience, I had to reflect on a lot of things. And one thing that stood out for me was when she said, in your state of difficulty, you need to pause and reflect. Because I believe that in the state of difficulty, you end up making decisions that in the end might ruin what God is actually trying to do with you. And she also said something about we already walking in our purpose, but we might not know that we are walking in our purpose. And I could relate with most of the things she said. For example, when she said that God asked her to get another office that she had just paid for one before, it didn't make sense. But then she had to promptly obey what God said. And I think I could relate with what she said. I also want to thank God for you saying that even Jesus needed a Judas. So the people that God sends our way have a purpose to play for the bigger picture to be seen. The jar also has opened my eyes or has given me enlightenment to some few things that I think I didn't know before. The question the lady asked that you answered, it didn't even occur to me until the answer came. And I think my environment as a child growing up has also been part of how I react in certain ways. But now I think I'm going to do better. So for now, I mean, the whole session has been a blessing to me. I told myself I was not going to sleep Saturday morning. I'll join in because it's always a blessing when I hear you speak, when I hear Miss Maudlin speak, and I'm very grateful to be here. I think if I have any other question, I'll reach out. Thank you so much for the opportunity.
All right. Thank you for sharing. Thank you so much. So, Doris, please go ahead.
Okay, ma. Please, good morning. Thank you very much for the opportunity, and I bless you and Auntie Maudlin for this opportunity. It's very insightful whenever or anytime we get to meet or anytime I get to listen to you. There's a lot going in my mind. There are a lot of questions. There are a lot of a lot, and I don't know which one to say, where to start and where to land. So the only thing I would say is this session has really helped. Initially, when when it was time, I couldn't even open my eyes, but I said to myself, "No, I have to wake up and attend this session," and truly, that's really helped. When Aunt Mother was talking from her experience, I started crying because it's really something that I can relate to. And thank to God that she was able to listen to the voice of God and all that, and she led her life aligned to what God wanted her to do. Most of us, when things like that happens to us, we end up doing things that does not align to God's purpose. So listening to her has prompted me that certain things in our life is a opportunity for us to align to what God wants us to do. Some of us, we don't even know we are living in our purpose until something happens. And so listening to her has really opened my eyes, and I now know I'm living in the purpose of God. I didn't know. And also it has really helped. And she said something like, further we go, clearer things become. Sometimes when we are going through certain things and it's too tough, we just quit. But meanwhile, when if we were able to stay calm and firm and go further, then we will understand how God wants us to, or how God wants us to be. So now I will now go further, even if it is tough. I'll go further because certain things in life, it really breaks us, and it's sometimes we want to quit. But now this has told me that no matter what, whether it's hard or not, I have to go further, because the more I go, the more the clearer it becomes. Who knows? Maybe my victory is at the end. Um, and I also learned something from you when you were saying, say even Jesus had Judas. So who are we? We are just mere vessels, mere mortals. So definitely we also have Judas, and whenever Judas comes to our life, we should grab it. It is an opportunity. If Jesus didn't have Judas, like we will not even be saved by now. So anything that comes to our life, we should just grab it. It's an opportunity that will open our eyes, opportunity that will build us. If you were not able to go to the pastor's house to stay there, like you not even know how to train children or how to even nurture children, but you gave yourself that opportunity to go to the house and stay with them. Now you are nurturing children out to the extent of you are nurturing we, even the adults, married people and all that. So I've understand that whatever situation we find ourselves, we should learn from it. We should learn from it. Even though if it is hard, we should learn from it. Now that I'm talking, certain things are going in our lives that sometimes, as I said earlier, we want to quit, but we have to go further. We have to admit, and we have to submit and learn from that. Because who knows, that thing, that situation we are in that moment, or that situation we are in this moment, it is preparing us for something better in future. Now I don't want to say this, but I have to open up. Who knows? I'm a married woman of next week will be my 4 years in marriage, but with no child now. I really think about it and I really cry. But I have this passion for children, and the way I carry children, the way I pamper children, I even teach at Sunday school, and how I do things with them. This our session and what you went through has opened my mind, that has opened my ears, that this time that I'm going through barrenness or whatever, I reject it in Jesus' name, amen. God is preparing me for something better, how I will nurture my children, how I will teach them God's way, and how I will, it's a whole lot. Mommy, God, thank you. God bless you so much. And Auntie Maudlin, I've learned a lot. As I said, there's a lot, and I don't know where to start and where to land. But if anything comes in mind, I'll get back to you.
Thank you so much. Don't
You're
leave
welcome.
don't leave the a lot in your head. As it's coming, write them down. Populate the chat. We will come there and answer your questions.
Okay, ma. Thank you very much.
Okay. Sandra, please go ahead.
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning.
It's always so refreshing to hear you and modeling speak. I always learn a lot. But my take home today is that everything, everybody has their role they are playing, regardless of what it is, whether the good or the bad. And one thing that we have to do is to learn to submit it to God. So from today, the things we are submitting, we are submitting everything to God so that He would help us to understand how these things are shaping us for the purpose which He brought us to this earth. And so that, as Monlin said, at the end or in some time to come, it will make sense. Thank you.
Thank you too. I love that part. It will make sense. It will make sense. I love that. It would actually make sense. Alrighty, so we have 2 more people. So after this 2, we'll close up the reviews. So I don't know your name. I can only see Ian Phoenix. Please unmute.
Hello.
Hi. Please tell us your
All right.
name.
Okay, so my name is Lovely. Thank you so much for the session as well. As always, it's very refreshing to hear from you and Lady Maudlin. I am a little privy to some of the information you always give, but I want to ask this question. What if your jar, as you said, is broken? It's all broken, and instead of going through things in life or growing through things in life, you actually brace yourself for impact, because it looks as if every time there is something big, really big, a bigger wave about to hit, and that has been a constant. So instead of growing or going through anything in life, you choose neither of them. You're just numb to anything, like whatever happens. How do you navigate through that? That's my question. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for asking, but I didn't get your name. Can you say that again?
My name is Lovely.
Okay, Lovely.
Late.
Yes. Thank you for this very, very, very important question. If you feel that you're shattered already, you feel that your jar has been broken, and every time it comes, it just takes everything that is left of you. Now, at that point, what you need is healing, because you need to be whole first. What you need is healing, and healing is not just something that falls on you from the sky. No, it still starts from awareness. You see, like this exercise has opened your eyes a little, but it doesn't end here. So you might need to speak to a trained therapist that would take you through sessions to heal, because healing is possible, right? Someone who is trained to do that job can take you through. So what you need is healing, of course. And I would always advise, if you're going for any therapy session, go with somebody that has, go to someone that has spiritual intelligence. The person should be skilled at the work, yes. The person should be skilled and trained for the job, but you're always at a greater advantage when the person has spiritual intelligence. Because whatever has happened will need to be dug out. We cannot, sometimes we are looking at the fruits and the branches, what is actually in the roots. So whatever we do, we spray the branches, we do that we are trying to kill insects. Because it's in the root, it will come up again. So you need to access a trained therapist or a trained counselor that will take you through sessions. And it's not one counseling session. It's sessions. After the person has assessed you, the person will tell you this is what's going on, and this is what we can do, and this is how long it will take if you cooperate. At least you should have gotten to this level of progress. So to transform, I can't even lie, it's not one session. Especially when it has gotten to that point, there must be a series of sessions. And maybe let me take the last. Is there another person? Or that's all, or agree. So that brings me to the offer I said I was going to share. So let me share my screen back, and so that we move to the offer, because part of that would answer your question. So in honor of the International Women's Day. Now, this is tough for me to do because My schedules are packed. I will not even lie. It's tough for me to do. I was telling Maudlin this morning, so that I don't for any reason miss this meeting. I haven't slept through the night. I did not sleep because I was up till about 1 a.m. As I saw it was 1 a.m. I say, if I make mistake to sleep the way my body is doing me, I might miss the time. So I stayed awake through the night till this point. So it's after this meeting, I'll go and catch some sleep. So this is not easy for me to do. But then I want to offer to take some number of people, not a lot, people who are ready, through a diagnostic session. Like, we are going to diagnose you. You will do the work because it is you, the information you provide me, I can work with. Now, specifically for singles preparing for marriage, because most times things that hit on us are relationship based. It show up more in relationship, not like their relationship based. It shows up more in relationship. But maybe saying their relationship based is also not wrong, because it is you're relating with your upbringing, relating in your environment, relating with people that cause some of those experiences. And the first person that suffers it is your spouse. And if you don't deal with certain things, you would even make a wrong choice of spouse, because you will be choosing based on your coping mechanism, which is not the real you. That when you now enter, a lot of things will now be triggering a lot of things. So for singles preparing for marriage, let me take you through a marriage readiness profile so that you can have it and see whether truly these are the things I need. This is who I am. This is who I'm likely, this is the kind of person I should likely be looking out for, not to jump into marriage and it's not working. So I'll take you through a marriage readiness profile. There is work for you to do. You see this reflection, I can't reflect for you. I can't think for you. It is to the degree that you think that I can work with and profile, this is what, based on your results, this is what it may be, this is what it's looking like, these are the areas you need to put attention on, this is what you need to go for just the diagnosis is what I'm going to do. So for married women, to better understand themselves and even their spouse, because some of the issues we have in marriage is that you don't even understand who you married. You probably chose from the state where you were, but now things are coming up. Your past is playing. Your present is also playing. Things are changing. You don't even understand yourself. So it's telling on your relationship, or you just want to have this understanding so that your relationship can keep getting better. Like I said, you might be in a stable state, but you want more. So I will work with you to get a personal relationship blueprint. All is diagnosis, so that you just come to a clear awareness first. But like I said, there is work to do. So if this is something that, okay, let me just give more details. So for the singles, what this will help you do when we are done, it will help you understand yourself before you choose a partner. Some singles have no business marrying some people, while some singles have no business thinking about marriage in the state that they are, because they are just a disaster going somewhere to happen. So you want to know whether you're ready and what you can do to better prepare you. You would identify your relationship patterns. You will know what you need in a partner. You would avoid mismatched relationship. You will prepare for marriage intentionally. That's what you benefit as a single. Then, as a married woman, you would understand yourself and your spouse better, because most of the relationship problems are understanding problems. You'll be able to improve communication and even improve other areas that you will now begin to see that, oh, this was something that came in. It's not about my spouse. It is me to take responsibility and deal with it. You will now know the areas to improve. Then you would understand, I mentioned triggers. You would understand your triggers and you would understand your needs based on the profile that will come up with. Your likely profile will come up with. I said likely because it depends on how deep you go in doing the work. I will be sharing assessments to you. So you are to go through the assessment within a period. Now, not more than 2 days. Well, maybe because of the depth, but I don't want you to sleep on it, because my own time too, I want to be able to make progress on this week. I don't want to carry it into next month, right? So I'll share assessments with you to the degree, and I will go through the assessment. I would only respond and go further with people who take the time and the pain to do all the assessments I will be sharing. So there's a limited number of people I can attend to. So if you are interested, even the assessments I'm sharing, on a normal day, I shouldn't share it on a free note. Yes, because these are paid resources. I shouldn't share it on a free note. So the much I can do to guard it is to only work with people who have gotten to a point where they truly need transformation. So you will need to send me a DM and send me why you sent me a DM, right? And send me your email address. So if I see your why and see that it is a serious why enough, I will share the assessments with you. So you want to do that today, because I would likely share the assessments before the end of today so that you can start immediately to work with those assessments. And I will have enough time to review the assessments, do the diagnosis. Then, depending on my schedules, we can have a one-on-one to debrief on the diagnosis, but I will try to make it as clear as possible so that even reading through the diagnosis, you can understand what is and what could be and what should be. And meanwhile, for the jar that we talked about, picture your spouse. If you know anything about your spouse upbringing, the environment and his emotional experiences, and if you're married, do it on behalf of your spouse. When you do it, think about all the things that has made him who he is. And ask yourself a simple question. How much grace can you give to this man, knowing that of a truth, a lot of things that has come into him was not his fault? It will also help improve your understanding and your ability to give grace and overlook certain things and give time for certain growth, because growth is not easy. So that's by the way, I just thought to drop that. So, brings us to the end of this session. Please check the chat box. There's a feedback form. It matters to us to hear from you. We want to know and be sure and see areas that we too can improve, because we reflect after every meeting. Every meeting, the leaders meet to reflect, to know what the meeting has been, the impact of the meeting, what we can improve, whether we are doing with the needful. So we go through your feedback in our own review sessions. So please pick the feedback form immediately. Don't wait. If you wait, you might not do it. Pick the feedback form and share honest feedback with us. What it means to you, how it's helping you, where you think we can improve, and all of that. And please, when we have meetings like this, share to people in your network. These meetings are not restricted. The only ones we're restricted are things like what I've shared and the Self-Leadership Studio, because we are doing it per cohort. So when we have sessions like this, please publicize, please share it. Our next session would hold next month. It will be virtual too, because of the Easter. Normally it should have held first week, but first week is Easter. So we can't even hold it on that day, and we'll hold it virtually. So it might just be the next or the next, just you will hear from us when we meet. And the May one, by God's grace, we will be meeting physically. So start now to publicize our April meeting. Just tell your friends. And that's actually where we'll be announcing the studio again. So people that want to come into the studio, we will take in new enrollments in April. So you want to help publicize. This might just be the salvation you're bringing to another sister. So please publicize, share it, let them join in our next month's meeting. Just be on the lookout. We would always send emails. We would always post on the WhatsApp group. And please, if you're in the Self-Leadership Studio, take your pod seriously, take your learning seriously. It's taking us a lot to pour ourselves into it. And meanwhile, April, we are moving to develop. If you have been progressing, we are moving to develop, and Modi will be handling those sessions in April. So I'm sure you are looking forward to it like I am. So please move quickly, but move deeply so that you get into what we have in the next quarter. So April, May, June, we'll be talking about developing your potentials, developing what you have in your hand. So she'll be taking us through those sessions. Am I missing anything, Benedict? Am I missing anything? I tried not to. Elizabeth, am I missing anything? If I miss anything, please drop it in the chat. So we really appreciate you for showing up today. Am I missing any? The picture, which picture? I can't remember picture. Which picture is that? Oh, I said we're going to take a group picture. Okay, everybody, turn on your cameras. Thank you for the reminder. Turn on your cameras. Anyhow you are looking, we like you like that. And let's quickly take a group picture. Let me stop sharing. Yeah. We like you like that. We love you like that. Oh, you were the one speaking. I didn't know. You didn't tell us your name. I just see grateful, forever, peaceful. You see, I couldn't have known you were the one speaking. Oh, beautiful. Okay, turn on the cameras. Turn on the cameras. Is everybody up? I'm waiting. Good to see. You see your faces. People were hiding from me. I'm now seeing joy all the way. Wow, beautiful Dolly. I see Miracle. I see Doris. I see Abigail. Oh, you are the iPhone. Rosemary, Eunice, yes, Sandra, Imelda, Petrina, beautiful. We are waiting for more. We just want to take a shot. Stanita, we are not seeing you. Who else are we waiting for? We are 33 on this call. So we'll take it in groups. So I'll take the first one, then move to the next scene. So people are still warming up. I should have said it earlier so that people prepare. So while we are preparing, let me take the first shot and then I move to the second screen. So take your pose. Whatever pose you want to take it. Please, where is it? Let me, So I'll do 1, 2, 3. Go. I hope I press the right buttons. Okay, let's go. Okay, I pressed the right button. Okay, please go to the next one. Let me go to the next one. How do I move past here now? Not even sure. I thought there should be an arrow on this screen. Okay, I'm not sure. Okay, let me change the view. Okay, I think I've seen that. Okay, all right. So, yeah, I've seen another set of faces. So we're going again. I will take it another time again and let's see. Okay, so 1, 2. Who is switching? Somebody is switching. All right, I've taken it. MB, you didn't tell us your name. Would have loved to be able. Nora, okay. Let me take another one. All righty. Thank you so much. Such a pleasure. Always a pleasure. Always a pleasure. Please, will the recording be sent to us on YouTube? We are unable to download in order to. We are unable to download in order to listen to it over and over again. We'll decide. We'll decide, yes. So we might share maybe for a period and all, because we want to encourage live participations, right? So we'll decide and get back to you. But meanwhile, for those people who send me a DM, I will just send you the assessments that you need so that you can have enough time to go through it. Toyin, good to see you. So I would let everybody unmute now so that we can share the snacks, the samosa and the spring rolls, the virtual ones before we go with the zobo. So you can unmute everybody, please. You're now allowed to unmute. So while we are sharing the online samosa and the spring rolls, when you receive your own, just say thank you, or you're the one sharing it. Whichever role you are playing, just share it. So yes, thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.
God bless you.
Thank you so much, man.
We received the online samosa.
You got that.
Receive it.
All right, thank you. Have a wonderful rest of the day. See you next month. Please drop your questions, anything in the chat.